This episode is powered by Fuse Energy. Winter is all about energy. Switching on Christmas lights, warming your home for a cozy night in, keeping the TV on for all the festive fixtures.
And Fuse keeps things simple thanks to their fixed rates, cheap tariffs, and 24/7 support.
Better yet, Alan, Fuse is the fastest growing energy company in the UK, and you can play a part in building the infrastructure for clean, affordable energy by referring land to Fuse for renewables development. Not only will you claim your place on the starting lineup of the clean energy revolution, you can earn a £2,000 reward by referring 20 acres or more of land to Fuse for solar projects.
They're building a system that proves renewable power can be affordable, scalable in practice, and accessible to everyone, not just an idea on a tactics board.
For more information about land referrals and energy powering the full festive fixture list, head to land@fuseenergy.com. And welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer, Micah Richardson, me, Gary Lineker. We're going to do something slightly different today, seeing as we're now exactly halfway through the season. It's time for us to do a mid-season review and reflect on how everyone has been going so far. We'll also be looking back at the predictions we all made at the start of the season. Oh dear. To see who has got the bragging rights. Probably none of us. And who might be spending the summer doing some extra research? Probably all of us. Are you ready for this, chaps?
Well, yeah, we're ready. Come on.
Let's do it.
Oh, God. How many we got right and how many we got wrong?
Well, let's find out. Starting, as we generally do in alphabetical order, with AFC Bournemouth. Right, they're currently 15th. Our predictions were, well, all three of us went mid-table. Alan, you were very specific. You said 11th or 12th. Well, they're not quite doing that at the moment. I think one of the reasons we were kind of lower than normal with Bournemouth was because we thought they might struggle a little bit with losing most of their defence in the summer. But they did actually start really well and they've fallen away a bit.
Yeah, they surprised everyone, I think, with who they lost. Three of the back four plus the goalkeeper. And then we were all, wow, they're doing amazing. But then they dropped off. Good result last time out. But so, yeah, I don't think the prediction's that far away. 12th, I think, be something around there, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What about going forward, though, Micah? Because obviously they've now not only lost most of their defence, but they've lost their star man, Semenyo.
Yeah, but to be fair, they have got Evan Nilsson, who, when he's fit, he's good. Krupi's a good player. So they've still got people who can hurt you. Yeah. Not as much as Semenyo. Semenyo was the best out of all of them, I believe. But in terms of the prediction, they've got 26 points and only 4 points off Sunderland in 10th. So I think we did all right on that one.
I think so. So far, so good. I'd stick with mid-table.
Mid-table, yes, I'd stick with that.
Yeah, I think so. And I guess they'll sign someone this window.
Well, they'll have to, I think, won't they? Because, you know, but they've got a good coach as well. There's no question about that, despite the bad run that they had recently. Right.
We got off to a decent start there, lads. First one.
We're doing
can only
go
downhill after that.
Well, it can only get worse. Let's move on to Arsenal, who are obviously currently top of the league table. Right, here we go. I said challenging, but not champions. A lot will depend on how Gyökeres does. Alan, you said challenging for the title, but just fall short of winning the league. Micah, the same, challenging but not champions. 1 or 2 injuries, and they will struggle like last season. They've had 1 or 2 injuries, but they haven't struggled like last season. So
when did we do this, though? When was this? Was this
before the start of the season, Micah? That's how it works.
No. But did we do it when the transfer window was shut?
We always generally do it a couple of weeks before
generally,
that.
You said you're not definite though, are you guys?
No,
you said generally we do. They bought in Nkapie, they bought in Mascara, 2 proper players.
Yeah.
The bought in
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres had already signed, I think.
Yeah, Gyökeres, because that's what Gaz said in his prediction. But yeah, I still think they're going to be challenging. Maybe pit Man City, but
Here he goes. Here he goes. I actually think Arsenal will win the title. I can't see them slipping up too frequently. I think they're a very, very strong team, exceptional defensively as well. And they'll always find a goal. Even though I don't think necessarily yet they've solved their number 9 issue, but they are getting goals from elsewhere. So I think they'll still be okay for the title.
Yeah, he hasn't scored the goals that they've sort of signed him for, but he has brought a different.
Yes,
he's brought something different to the team, which maybe has freed others up, and others are doing better. But I guess he will want to. I know he's got his goal against Chelsea in the Carabao semi-final, but he'll want his numbers to improve in the second half of the season.
So title winners for you and me, Alan. What about you, Micah? Come on, get off that bloody fence, Mr. Creosote. Where is it? First or second?
Oh, I still don't know. Obviously I'll give a prediction because we have to.
Go on then.
But I still don't know because it's too early.
No one knows, Micah.
March,
that's what the guessing game's all about. First or second?
I'm gonna go just second.
Ooh.
Just
the paymasters have spoken.
You do surprise me.
Okay, on to Aston Villa, who had an extraordinarily bad start to the season, couldn't score in their first few games, but are now up to third place. I said just outside the Champions League, Europa League place. Alan pretty much said the same. In fact, we all did. We all said that Europa League places. But they went on an 11-game winning run. I think they're looking pretty damn good for Champions League football now. Do we concur?
Did I say Europa League, did I? I thought I said Champions League.
No, Europa League places, you said, Micah.
They're a very good team. I guess they're also going to do some business because I think Marlon may be leaving, so someone else will come in. But really, really impressed. I don't think he can anything but be impressed with Aston Villa and their football that they're playing. Got some really talented players in there. Morgan Rogers, absolutely outstanding. Ollie Watkins has found found some goals and what have you as well. So, yeah, really, really, I don't think he can be anything but impressed.
I can't believe they're going to get rid of Marlon. I think he's excellent. I really do. He might not have the hold-up ability of Watkins, although they've been linked with Tammy Abraham, haven't they? That would be a good fit for them for backup for Watkins. But I just love his runs. I love his intelligent runs in behind. Didn't moan when he wasn't playing. Always give 100%. So I'm surprised at that one. But yeah, in terms of where they finish, yes, Champions League.
Champions League spots, all of us now.
I think so. They've got a nice cushion there as well, haven't they, with the points difference. So, yes, for me,
and not too many teams behind them have been consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if Liverpool are picking up a bit. On to Brentford. I think this is one of the big surprises, really, of this season. I don't think anyone could have seen them halfway through the season in 5th place. Yeah. I said relegation battle. I thought they'd stay up. You said the same, but enough just to stay up with a struggle. Micah, the same, relegation battle. Keith Andrews is really good, but he has too much change to deal with, were your words, Micah. But he's coped brilliantly. They've got 33 points after 20 games. They are certainly not going to be in any sort of relegation battle if they carry on, finish in a Champions League spot.
Does that mean there's hope for us pundits, Al?
By the way, let's just go back to, when did we do this? Probably beginning of August.
Yeah.
Just go back to the beginning of August, right? And I or Micah or you had said, really fancy Brentford this season. I think in January they'll be in 5th position in the Premier League. You'd have been laughed out of sight.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
You would have. I mean, that just goes to show.
Having lost their 2 goal-scoring threats on Boomer and Visser, and obviously their coach as well. I mean, it's extraordinary what he's done.
Incredible. Absolutely unbelievable what they're doing. And what a job he's done. Sort of
a little bit old-school football, a bit more direct, but it doesn't matter. And they've found a goal scorer as well, haven't they?
Yeah. He's tough to play against. Really awkward. And absolutely flying.
Thiago, the only time he's not scored is when he's been in my fantasy team.
I was just about to ask you that. Are you going to put him back in?
I don't know. No, not yet. No, because if I do, I'll put a jinx on him, and I don't feel that's fair to him. Where will they finish?
They can't continue like this. Mid-table will finish. That'll be an excellent season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think top half, I think they'll be in the top half.
Wow.
I think they've been really, really good.
Yeah.
Brighton, predictions were mid-table. Al said the same. He said they don't have enough to get into Europe, though. Micah said bottom half, which I suppose they currently are.
That means I'm back on. Bottom half, 11. I'll take it. Fantastic.
I think, they're where pretty much all three of us predicted. They're a decent side, Brighton. Well run. Good, well coached.
Yeah, they've been up and down, haven't they? I think over the last couple of years, because of where they've been, Europe as well, probably looking at that and thinking, and that's why I said I didn't think they would have enough for Europe, and I still don't. And I think they'll finish in and around where they are, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question as number 9? Welbeck, do you take him to the World Cup or not?
No.
No?
I don't think so. Unless he keeps banging him in right until the end of the season. he's... How old is he? He's mid-30s, isn't he? 35, 36. Yeah. He's got experience. He's not been in the England team or around it for quite a long time. And if you have just a kind of a little bit of a good run, and they were saying the same thing about Calvert-Lewin, weren't they? It's always the thing. You've got to be careful. Now, I totally respect Danny Welbeck. I think he's been a terrific player, but he's towards the end of his career. He's still scoring the odd goal. He's a very good player. But when you consider the firepower that England have, I think you've got to be realistic on this.
In number 9 positions, there's not a lot of firepower.
Well, you got Kane and Watkins.
Kane and Watkins are in there.
Kane and Watkins. Sometimes you might need a third one in that position now.
I don't think you need a third in that position, because you play, if something happened to two of them, you play a false 9, and it actually might solve one or two of his selection problems.
Well, he played Phil Foden false 9 in one of the games, didn't he? So,
yeah, you could do that
good
easily enough. So anyway, back to where we were on Brighton. I think we'll pretty much stick with our opinions, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
On to Burnley. Well, they're currently 19th. They've only got 13 points. I think we all predicted it would be pretty tough for them. Alan, you said relegated, miracle if they stay up. That still looks the case. I said relegated, although I did say possibly could be the most likely of the 3 promoted teams to stay up, along with Leeds. How wrong can you be? Micah said staying up based on their defensive structure. Not sure if they can score enough, but their defensive structure and manager means they survive. Micah, over to you.
What have they got? 13 points, minus 19 goal difference. It's looking quite bleak, but we love the Burnley, don't we? We love the Burnley. I really love them as a club. Do I think they've got enough to stay up? If they buy a striker in January, yes, I'm going to stick with it.
Really?
They're going to get out of it, yeah. I'm going to say Burnley are going to get out of it.
You're just trying to cover your backside, aren't you? What on earth gives you that belief and opinion that they think they've got enough to steal?
I like the pies at Burnley.
Too many of them, by the way.
If you could get a point for a pie, they'd be all right. But I fear the worst. It's so difficult when you get promoted. But having said that, the other 2 promoted sides, who of course we'll come to shortly, have done sensationally well so far. Okay, on to Chelsea. They're actually currently 8th. I had them Champions League places. Could be the team that goes very close to winning the title. That was actually after they won the Club World Cup, of course. Alan, Champions League, definitely. Don't think they have enough to win the title. Micah challenging, but just miss out on the title. Well, if we'd have said this, 5 weeks ago, we wouldn't have been far off. But they've had a bad run. They've lost their coach. And they've got a new man in charge, and I now think that Champions League will be a hell of a decent finish.
Yeah, I would still say, I would think they maybe get 4th or 5th. 5th might be enough for Champions League. So,
probably will be.
Yeah, I would stick with them being in a Champions League spot, 4th or 5th.
Can I say something about Liam Rosenior?
You can.
Rosenior is what they're saying is called now.
Is it Rosenior now? Is it?
Well, his dad said that's what it's called.
Oh, well, his dad would know, wouldn't he? So let's go with Rosenior.
Rosenior. I think he's buying too much into the media. With his interviews, I think he's saying a little bit too much. And I feel like he needs to be careful. I think he's saying all the right things. I think he's articulate, but I think he's over-explaining himself, which then leaves always a question for the media when it comes to games. I think Amorim did similar.
Amorim definitely did sometimes.
Was really good in interviews. Almost give you too much to go at, and then you're always thinking, hanging on every word and thinking, he said that last time. Well, I'll see how they do. And I just, even that, the thing is, he said something like, he knows he's a good manager, which we all think he's a good manager, up and coming manager. But these are all things that could come against you when things are not going well. So I feel like he knows how to work it, but I think he's been quite naive when it comes to it.
A little warning there from the sagacious Micah Richards.
Just protection. It's more protection than everything.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I understand that as well. I think I quite like the way he's approached a lot of the press conferences, but I get your point, Micah. Where will they fit? We still think. I still think they can. If he goes well and he gets the players behind him, and they've got the talent there, there's no question about that to finish top 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I would go along with that. Absolutely, yeah. I would. And by the way, they won't be allowed to finish where they are at the minute, 8th.
They won't be allowed to.
That won't be acceptable for Chelsea to finish in 8th position, will it?
Well, which is one of the reasons, obviously, why they've got a new manager in. I suppose. Yeah. On to Crystal Palace. They're currently 13th. I said mid-table. Alan, you said in and around where they finished last season, which was 12th. Mike, a similar position to last season or just below. Juggling Europe and League will be hard for them. And that has come to pass, Micah. I think that's caught up with them. They had a brilliant start to the season, didn't they? They were flying really high for quite a while. They've slipped a bit of late, started to look maybe a little bit jaded, and maybe the squad not quite big enough to cope with football on so many fronts.
Yeah, I think the one that sort of killed him a little bit is Munoz. Is it Munoz or Munoz?
Munoz.
Oh my God. He's the best fullback in the league.
He's really good. I like him
along with Timber. And when he doesn't play, they're just not the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, they say he'll be back in a couple of weeks or so, Micah. So.
Okay, yeah, well that'll be good for them, but I won't change my mind in terms of league position. If they could keep the same 11 fit all year round, I would have said a lot higher. But because they are battling Europe as well, yeah, I'd say the
Do you think
same.
the Gahey situation sort of affected them as well, of not knowing whether he's staying or going in this month? I don't know. It's every week.
It didn't seem to affect them at the start of the season, did it? After all that. But I mean, he seems to be such a solid individual and good lad. But obviously, if they lose him, that would make a difference as well. I think Sarr, of course, will be coming back from AFCON very shortly as well, which make a difference. I think he's an important player for them.
Yeah, really important. Just his runs in behind. I think Pino's been really good for them, though.
Yeah.
Replacing Eze, and really technical player. I think losing Richards as well. Not me, of course.
There's only one Richards, and it's not you.
For a few games, Lacroix was out for a few games as well. They've had to put Lerma, who could play at the back, but he's a midfielder. They've had to put him at back at the time. And he's done all right, but they've lost the sort of balance within the team. So, yeah, just mid-table for me.
Stick with our predictions. We're actually not doing quite as badly as I thought. No, not too bad. Everton, new ground, of course, and they've got 29 points. They're 12th. I said mid-table, so did Alan. And Micah, you said top 10. That's still within reach. Only a few points behind achieving that. I think they've done well. I mean, don't forget the last couple of seasons they've been fighting relegation. And have managed to claw their way up the league table under David Moyes. And I think we've said many times what a terrific job they've done. goal scoring is probably always
they need a
slightly an
centre-forward.
issue. We've said that for a few years now.
Yeah. They've got, what have they got? Beto and Barry, haven't they?
Yeah. Barry scored a couple in recent weeks.
There's no doubt they got their tries and their work rate, everything else. But if they had a better centre forward in there, then they'd climb the league, I think.
Got some good players though, Everton, haven't they? Garner's been doing really well of late.
Yeah.
I like him in midfield. Grealish is Grealish. He's always good at entertain.
They'll get on Jai back from African Cup of Nations as well. And I really like him. I think he's a real talent.
Yeah, he's a quality player.
So I think we'll stick with our predictions on that one as well.
Yeah.
So not too bad so far.
You know what we need to do though? We need to give positions, don't we? You know, in terms of 1 to 20 next year.
Next year. Oh, right,
because we just basically say mid-table. It makes us look good, doesn't it?
That'll make us look even more stupid when we do that. Doing it this way, Micah, we put about 18 teams in mid-table and we get away with it.
Exactly.
We can claim that 6th is mid-table. What counts as mid-table? Maybe we should define that. Just outside the European spots to maybe 13th? I don't know.
8th to 12th.
8th to 12th.
8th to 12th,
I mean, it's got to be around the middle, hasn't it? On to another one at mid-table. Fulham. I said mid-table. Alan 14th. They have enough to avoid a relegation battle, though. Micah just below where they finished last season, which was 11th, but did say jokingly, Snapchat was banned. What does that mean? And the chemistry could be affected. But I can't remember you saying that.
Yeah, Al said, what does that, what? I think you said, your words are, what on earth has that got to do?
Snapchat is banned.
With football on the pitch.
That's quite, I can't remember that, funnily enough. But they're currently 9th. With 31 points, so you can't get much more mid-table than that. Alan 14th, a little bit negative. They've done well, haven't they? I think considering when you look at their squad, I think he's done a particularly good job. I really do. They've got some good players. Alex Iwobi, Harry Wilson's excellent as well.
There was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, weren't they? Then there were, 5th to 6th bottom, and people are talking, are they going to get involved in dragged into the relegation zone? But then they went on I think they had 3 great results, 3 wins on the spin. Yeah. And that shot them right up the league.
Yeah, it has. Bassi will be back from AFCON as well, and he's been particularly good in that tournament.
I watched him last night.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
I watched the games as well.
Oh my God, he won absolutely every header. He was driving out with a ball with his left foot, tactically knew what he was doing, positioning was spot on. Yeah, he was amazing yesterday. Yeah. They got beat on penalties by Morocco, which was a shame. Bono made one of the most bizarre saves I've seen
mad, wasn't it?
in a penalty shootout.
It really was. Good final, Morocco, Senegal. I felt for Mo Salah, but they were complete. I mean, they had nothing, did they, Egypt?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Harry and myself, we're going to the final, Micah.
Oh.
We've been invited by the African Football Federation, which is really kind.
Wow.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah, Sunday. So don't know about how we'll do the pod, but we'll work it out. We'll work something out. Might have to leave you boys to do it on your own for a little while, maybe. On that note, let's take a little break. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker, reviewing our pre-season predictions. And actually, it's not been as bad as I feared so far, but that could change.
Just Brentford, isn't it? That at the minute that we've that have made us look stupid.
Yeah, there's an obvious one or two to come as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, here comes one now. Leeds United.
Marching on together. Go on, boys. Fill your boots. Oh, Leeds are going down. Leeds are going... No, they're not.
Well, you've summed up our predictions. I said relegated. Alan said relegation just about. But out of the promoted clubs, Leeds had the best chance of staying up. Micah, enough quality to just avoid relegation. Ellen Rowe will play a massive part in them staying up. It will be bouncing every week. Well, we knew that. Currently they are 16th. But don't forget the bottom 3 are somewhat adrift at the moment. And I would say if you get to 30 points, I think that would probably be comfortably enough. So I think they're going to be fine. They've done really well, actually, and you were right about it. It's a bit made their home ground, Ellen Road, into a bit of a fortress.
And what a clever signing Calvert-Lewin's been. He's got him playing really well, got him scoring goals. And I watched Leeds against Newcastle, and I was really impressed with them, the way they attacked the game, how organised they were. I know they lost in the last, 102nd minute or whatever it was, but I was impressed with Leeds and how they went about it. So, yeah, they'll have enough, definitely.
Ethan Ampadu, what a player he is. The conductor in midfield. Remember him at Chelsea all those years ago, where he was sort of centre-half, centre-mid, but now he's so mature. When he plays, they're a different team. I absolutely love watching him, and the manager's done a brilliant job. Brilliant job.
I think we'd all agree they will avoid relegation. Liverpool, now this is where it turns a bit pear-shaped for us, I think, because I think we all thought they'd win the league. Well, we did. I said champions, Alan, champions. They'll be impossible to stop if they get Isak too. Micah said champions, bringing in Wirtz. People don't understand how good he is. They'll be unstoppable if he gets up to speed straight away. Well, he didn't get up to speed straight away. He's starting to come up to speed, I would say. He's certainly picked up in the last few weeks, as have Liverpool to a degree. But they've been massively disappointing this season, way off where they were last season, although they've rallied a bit, I would say, in recent weeks.
Yeah, what are they, unbeaten in 11, I think they are. But I can't remember anyone saying before ball was kicked, the vast majority of us, all pundits said if Liverpool's title because of their signings. But yeah, it's been really, really poor, and it's been a tough season for what they achieved last year to what they've spent, and what they're doing at the minute is miles off what we thought.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Wirtz because he's way better than he's showing. I know you said we've seen it in the last couple of games, but he's such a good player. He needs to find his rhythm, in terms of getting on that ball, making them passes, and you can see it. You can see it in spells, in games, even in early on in the season. But when he didn't score for so long, and then the added pressure, I think next season it'll become good.
Well, they did get Isak, because I said if they get him, and the Isak situation hasn't worked out for anyone. It looked bad on Liverpool, what he was doing. It had Newcastle, obviously, the situation that they went through, and for Isak himself, I know he's got the serious injury, but it just reflected terrible on everyone, and it wasn't a good look for him or for Liverpool in what he did. So that got their season off to a poor start anyway, I thought. Do
you think they'll pick up? I don't think they can win the title. I still think they'll get Champions League, though.
Yeah, Champions League. Yeah. I don't think they'll win the league. But we have to give honourable mention to Ekitike, who's been fantastic.
He's the one signing that's really excelled. I think Frimpong will show something. I've just brought him into my fantasy team, Mike. I've got a feeling he's going to start.
But he's delighted about that then.
He is thrilled, apparently. Anyway, on to Manchester City. Our predictions were as follows. They'll be better than last season, but not sure they'll have enough to win the league. Might stick with that. Alan, Arsenal, Chelsea and City will be playing for second place.
Fair.
No, that's after Liverpool, obviously. Micah, if Rodri was fit, which he now is, and hopefully stays that way, I think they could challenge Liverpool. But without him, I worry about them on the transition.
That's right.
Although Nico Gonzalez has done really well coming in there, but yes, still vulnerable to a counter-attack. I called him Rodney on off air the other day.
Rodney.
Every time off air, I said Rodney, and every time I try to say Rodri now, Rodney comes out.
I like that.
Ridiculous. But Rodri, now he's back. I think Man City, with the addition of Semenyo as well, they just look so good going forward.
Yeah,
I think Man City, close between Man City and Arsenal, but I think they could just pip it late doors.
I'm going to stick with what I said. Better than last season, but not sure they have quite enough to win the league. So I think they'll finish second. Alan, where are you now?
Yes, same. I said, didn't I? think they'll be playing for second, and I do. I think Arsenal will have too much for them. So they do give you chances, but I'm with Micah now. Even with the addition of Semenyo, I mean, the attacking options they've got is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I know, there is that. So Arsenal will need to be very consistent going through the remainder of the season. Manchester United, here we go. I said mid-table. To get into any European competition would be a bonus. I'll stick with that, thank you. Alan, can't be as bad as last season. They'll finish 7th to 9th. Well, that's pretty accurate because they're currently 7th. Micah, top 6 Europe.
Oof.
It's top 6? Well, they're only the 7th. The joint 6th.
But they're in that pack, aren't they, where you lose a couple and you could drop. They've got a new man in charge. Now, it's Michael Carrick, obviously, until the end of the season. They've already had one interim for 2 games in Darren Fletcher. My prediction is that Michael Carrick will do pretty well for the remainder of the season. They'll give him the job and then he'll be fired by about November, December. Because that club is just bonkers at the moment.
Yeah, it's... In terms of Amorim, he knew what was happening. He knew the writing was on the wall. That's why he had his outburst. Then getting, an interim until they could get an interim. I think it's the right thing to do. It'll give them a little bit of time to breathe and then see what and who's available come the end of the season. But, and it's another but, if he does really well, I mean, there's no doubt that he can sense an opportunity in terms of if he can get them going and get them into the top 6, then that's what he's looking at. I like his staff who he's brought in, but I'm not changing my prediction. I think they are what they are at the minute. They're anything between 7, 8, 9, I think, is where they are.
They're going to play better than what they've shown.
Well, I hope so.
They are. And the joint 6th now.
Well, they get Diallo back and Mbeumo back, won't they, from Africa?
Yeah, Sesko's finding a little bit of confidence. So they're going to be back in a back 4. And I know it's not all about systems, but it's just easier for people knowing their responsibilities. So I'm going to stick,
Not a bad start he's got, is it? Man City at home, his first game as manager.
And then Arsenal away. Nice, easy.
Incredible.
See, I'd have done that one. I'll tell you what, I'll just sit in the stands for a couple of weeks and leave Darren Fletcher to it, and then I'll come in after that. But actually, United have shown in recent seasons that they tend to perform a bit better against when they're underdogs in games. But we'll see.
Yeah, true.
On to your lot, Al. Newcastle United currently 6th with 32 points. I said mid-table. You said 5th or 6th, Al. Micah 8th or 9th.
Yeah, 6th at the minute. Their away form's a concern. They've had some really good positive results of late. 3 league wins on the spin, which has fired them from mid-table or below that to 6th in the league. They've got Wolves away on Sunday.
Yeah.
Then they've got a really tough set of fixtures coming up. But yeah.
We're doing this on Thursday. On Tuesday, of course, Newcastle lost at home to Man City.
I was there, yeah.
You were there.
I was there. Newcastle missed their opportunities. They had a big chance, Vissa, early on in the game. Didn't take it. Voltemada had a huge chance, tried to take too many touches instead of hitting it. And when they give you chances, City, you've got to take them, and Newcastle didn't. But I was really impressed with Man City going forward. They've got so many options.
Mike has got really a smug look on his face.
I was at the ground too as well.
Yeah, you were there, yeah.
It's weird. I FaceTimed Al just as they scored.
What about VAR and the Haaland?
We texted, won't we, saying that is an absolute disgrace.
Honestly, this just meant... I meant to mention it last week and I forgot, actually. I was going to say, how refreshing was the FA Cup weekend in terms of not having bloody VAR ruin it for us? It really does need a rethink, desperately so.
But then it was an almost identical situation to what happened at Newcastle against Man City, where it was over 5 minutes for the decision.
Yeah.
And then it was very, very similar in the Chelsea-Arsenal game last night, wasn't it? I mean, obviously the VAR officials and the officials on Tuesday night have had a huge bollocking off their bosses. And then a similar situation happens in that game. And then all of a sudden, it's like that. It's happened. The decision was made so quickly. It's just, it was just terrible. It was awful. But Man City were the better team, I thought.
Do we need to get Howard back on?
We need to get Howard back on and say, what is going wrong?
I feel for them a bit. It's unworkable in its present form. And I you know what my view is on it, but we'll move on. Where will Newcastle finish quickly?
I think they'll finish in and around where they are at the minute, sixth this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that probably now. Micah?
Yeah, similar to where I had them. Did I have them about 7th or 9th?
8th or 9th, you said?
8th or 9th. 7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, I would agree with that. On to Forest. Well, I think we all thought they'd do all right this season. We didn't think they'd reach quite the dizzy heights of last season where they were so impressive, but we all said mid-table. They've already sacked 2 managers this season, and they're still struggling. They had a massive win, didn't they, against West Ham, but they're currently 1 spot above the relegation zone. I don't think any of us saw that coming.
No, not at all, especially with the players that they have as well. Chris Wood, what he was doing last season, especially in fantasy football, I was thinking, let's get him in early doors.
Morgan Gibbs-White.
He's just got so many good players. Football's a weird game, isn't it?
Yeah, Anderson, of course, who's broke through with England. Surprising, really.
Yeah, but Dyche's the right man now to stabilise it at least, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they got a 7-point gap.
7 point.
They do look pretty doomed, the bottom 3, don't they, really? I mean, you need a massive turnaround for it not to be the bottom 3. So I still think Forest will finish just above the drop zone now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, okay. Sunderland, one of the stories of the season. They've slipped a little bit. They've gone to 10th now, but they've already got 30 points. I would say they are safe. Which is brilliant because, you know, the team that comes up via the playoffs generally are almost guaranteed to go back down. I think the manager's done a superb job. We all said relegated, all 3 of us, and we need to eat humble pie.
Yeah, and still unbeaten at home, by the way, which is remarkable. And probably 2 of the signings of the season. I had Granit Xhaka and the goalkeeper Ruffs in my team of the season so far. They've been brilliant.
God, that must have been painful for you, Alan.
What's the keeper called, Alan?
Sorry?
What's the keeper called?
Ruffs, is it? Ruffs?
Ruffs?
Ruffs? Ruffs? He's been brilliant anyway, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's been sensational.
Superb.
Fabulous.
Absolutely superb. So where will they finish? Can they maintain mid-table, or do you think they'll slip away a little bit?
Well, don't forget over the last couple of weeks they've been without a few players because of the AFCON. So once they get those back, just below mid-table, I think they'll finish.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think 12, 13, something like that.
I'm going to go bang on mid-table, 10th.
Yeah, where they are at the current time. Okay. Spurs. Well, it's been, what a season for them so far. Our predictions were, from me, big improvement coming, European places. Alan, 7th to 9th. Micah, top 6. They've only won 2 home games this season. And I suppose there's a reason they were 17th last season. And also, I think the injury situation, particularly in forward positions. I mean, any team that loses their most creative players and probably the most potent goal scorer are going to struggle to a degree. But it's still been very disappointing nevertheless, hasn't it? I thought, with Thomas in charge, I think he's found it difficult so far. Home
form as well, isn't it? And the fans, I mean, I was there last weekend. You can just feel there's an atmosphere in the ground. It's not a nice atmosphere. The game they have this weekend against West Ham, whoever were to lose that game, I would fear for the manager. Yeah. Really would, because if Spurs get beaten at home off West Ham, it would turn really, really nasty.
I'm disappointed within the way that Thomas Frank has set up his teams, because yes, they've not had players who can get on the ball like Maddison and Kulusevski, but he normally finds a way. Yeah. He's got enough pace within that team to still play attractive football. And the thing is, I liked with Thomas Frank at Brentford, he could adapt to any situation with lesser players. So with Spurs, I thought they would have a little bit more. I still think he'll become very good, but I thought he'd be able to turn it around quicker than he has done. And all these things when he's having an Arsenal Cup on accident and all, they're not helping his cause.
God, that was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the players going into, argue with fans and all that sort of stuff. It's been difficult. Is he the man to turn it around? 100%. I just thought he'd do it a little bit quicker.
I hope he gets the time to do it.
I think he will, though. I think he will, Al. I do, because and the reason I say that is because the league's funny this season. Everyone's taking points off each other. So what? Spurs have got 27 points now. Yeah. If they were to get a win, up to 6 is only on 32 points. We're only talking about 5-point gap.
Yeah, you get a 3-game winning run, and I mean, the next 2 fixtures, as you said, it was West Ham, and I think
West Ham and Burnley, I think it is in the league. Yeah,
you win those 2, and the world's a better place. So
correct.
I think mid-table, though. Personally, I think mid-table. On to West Ham. Well, it's been a bloody awful season for them, isn't it? It really has. I said actually 10th to 14th. Alan, you said tough season ahead for them. Can't see them finishing higher than 10th to 14th, same as me. Micah, same as last season, 14th. They're a little too easy to play against. Graham Potter, of course, was replaced by Nuno at the end of September, who'd lost his job at Forest. I mean, he'd be under pressure now as well, Nuno. I mean, imagine losing 2 jobs in one season. So
tough season ahead, I said, but I didn't think it would be this tough for them.
No.
But I don't see anything I know they've got Jared Bowen, but other than him, I don't see anything that would give me hope they can get out of the situation they're in. Not seeing anywhere near enough from them.
I think the situation with Paquetá or Paqueta, some people pronounce it, he wants to go back to Brazil, doesn't he? And that's not good.
No.
One of your main players wants to go back home. It's going to be difficult. And Bowen, he's had a little bit of stick as well. He went up to the fans, a little bit of tension there.
But he's the one player who's actually still delivered to a degree, isn't he? And I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, if they do go down, it's his club, isn't it? And he might have to leave.
Yeah, he might have to leave, but I
don't see them getting out of it, me.
You can't see it, Al, no?
No, I don't think they've got enough quality, Micah. Nothing that I see in the team gives me hope that they'd get out.
When I watch them, I see a lack of... They seem to be a little bit like PC plod, there's no real kind of energy to their game. It just seems a little bit pedestrian, particularly I think in defensive positions. I think they're a little bit slow, a little bit ponderous. I don't know. Maybe that's a confidence thing, but I can't see them getting out either. Difficult times for the Hammers, and difficult too, of course, for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are currently 20th. They have had finally a win this season, but they're only on 7 points. I said relegation battle, but did say that possibly all the promoted teams might get relegated. Alan, you said relegation battle, but will finish above the promoted sides. And Mike, you said tough season ahead for them. I pushed you to decide before Micah said the 2 promoted teams are staying up, Leeds and Burnley.
So I got that one right then, did I?
It looks that way, yes. Unless they produce the biggest miracle in modern football history beyond Leicester winning the league. So, what's gone wrong there?
Where do you start? I mean, they have in the last 3 or 4 games, haven't they, picked up a little bit, got their first win just as they start to get a little bit of confidence. Newcastle go there this weekend. They're too far adrift, aren't they? What they're on, 7 points, too far adrift.
No, they're gone. They're done. They're toast. Sorry, producer John.
They need to start planning for next season, the Championship, and I guess maybe one of the reasons why they've got Rob Edwards in there is partly that, I guess. Yeah,
I'd agree. I just think losing Cunha, there was a spell last season where he was scoring every single goal. Yeah. I thought Strand Larsen would have done a little bit better. I know he was frustrated that he didn't get his move to Newcastle. I don't want to say he's down tools, but he's not had the same effect. Maybe that's to do with service. But when you lose someone like Cunha...
And Aït-Nouri, I know he's been injured at City this season, but I mean, he was a quality act.
What about their young player, though? Mane,
yeah. Bit of promise for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not too much promise for the rest of this season, I fear. So overall, I don't think we've done too badly. Apart from the obvious ones, which was Liverpool, which I think pretty much every pundit did. They won the league easily last season, and then spent more than any club has done for a long time in the summer. But it's not quite worked for them. And Sunderland probably being the obvious one as well.
Brentford.
And Brentford. Those were the three big surprises, I think, this season, as well as one or two teams like West Ham underperforming. But okay, well, thanks, chaps. We'll have a look again at the end of the season after we've recapped and remade our predictions, and we'll see how we go. But for now, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.